Hello guys, welcome you all to my YouTube channel. So in this video we're going to discuss about one of the case study which has been given into this particular book. Peter Lynch, Learn to Earn. Now many of you might have heard the name of this particular book, and if you are someone who want to come into the stock market, know the basics of stock market, this is one of the book for you. In one of the most simple language this book has been written. This is the person who has written this particular book, Peter Lynch. He was one of the biggest investor at his time. He retired at the age of 43 or 44, somewhere around that, but during the time he was a fund manager and he gave really awesome returns. Okay, and he was one of the best investor of all time, and because of which this book is really great. Not just because he was a great investor, but the way it is written, the easy language it is given. When I personally came into the stock market, wanted to learn about stock market, different things about stock market, this was one of the book for me. And this is one of the story, actually case study kind of stuff of Johnson & Johnson. And I personally think for a new investor, this is one of the case study because you can learn a lot of different things. So if you are not read this book, I have given the link in the description. You can definitely purchase from that particular link. It's the case study of Johnson & Johnson J&J. So many of you people might have heard the name of Johnson & Johnson. It's one of the biggest company, not just in USA, it's all around the world, not just in USA, not just in India, all around the world. The company is famous. It's one of the biggest company. How big the company is? It ranked 11th among the most market capitalization company in USA, with a market capitalization of almost $453.31 billion market capitalization the company has as of today. This is one of the biggest company, and the market capitalization is really huge. And this is one of the case study which is from 1993. So what happened during the 1993? During that particular time, during the 1991, the stock price of the Johnson & Johnson was $57, and in 1993 the stock price of the Johnson & Johnson went down to $37. In 1994, the annual report came of that particular company, and this is the annual report analysis of the company, like how Peter Lynch analyzed the company and ended up investing in one of the multi-bagger of all time. This is one of the case study of that way. First of all, the stock price of the company was falling continuously. It fall from $57 to $39. So obviously this was a big fall from $57 to $39. The fall was really big, and because of which basically many people might have thinking that there might be some issue. For example, there might be some issue with the managers of the company. There might be some issue with the kind of the team might be not working that great. The products might be not that great. There might be some issue with the products because consumers might be not liking, because it was more of a consumer driven company. So consumers might be not great. There might be some other issue, marketing not be great. All these kind of issues might be there, but all these problems was not there. When the company annual report was analyzed, they found out that the company profit has actually gone up by 4 times. So the profit of the company has gone up by 4 times in a year, and that was a really great achievement for the company. Along with that, the company, this was one of the interesting things, and this was one of the point which I personally like. The company had 77,400 employees in 1983, and company's employees increased to 81,600 employees. With just increase of 4,200 employees, the company was able to generate the sales from $6 billion sales in 1983. The company's sales went to $14 billion sales in 1993. So in a decade, they just increased 4,200 employees, and their sales almost doubled. Almost 2.5x increase in the sales took place. So this was a really great thing, that they were able to efficiently get more and more efficiency from their employees, and they were able to get more and more output from their employees. At the same time, this also one thing which is written, that from 1989 to 1993, the company's sales went from $9.7 billion sales to $14 billion sales. Means 1.5x increase in the sales took place, with a decrease in the employees. So basically in these 4 years, from 1989 to 1993, they decreased the employees, but their sales increased by 1.5x. So this was like the efficiency was at the top, at the peak. They were able to get a really great amount of efficiency. The workers who were working for them, the people who were working for them, were working at their best. They were really doing a great job. So this was something which was really a great study. I personally thought that the employee study was really great. He has also given a lot of dividends. So when a company gives a dividend, it's always great for the investor, because the company is the investor is not only investing in the company for the longer term. When you get the dividend, it works as a passive income for the investor, and in this way, when a company gives a dividend, the passive income, the investor gets is really great for the investor. In the same way, this particular company Johnson & Johnson till 1993, and for the last they mentioned in the annual report that for the last 1 decade they were giving the continuous dividend each and every year. But the Peter Lynch said that they didn't mention that for the last 32 years the company was giving continuous dividend for last 32 years. If a company is able to give dividend for the last 32 years, it's a big thing. At the same time, there was a buyback which was happening. So buyback is one of the positive thing. If a company is buying the shares of its own, this shows that the company has the really means the company believe in the business more, and the company basically thinks now the business might go at a one level up, or there might be some changes they might be bringing where it will take the company more up, and the share price might went up, and the company can get the benefit of it. In that case only the company goes for the buyback of the shares. In the case of the Johnson & Johnson, the buyback took place in 1993. In 1993, almost 3 million shares the buyback took place, and almost 110 million shares buyback took place in a decade from 1983 to 93. So all the things was great. Buyback is one of the great thing, because whenever a company buybacks the shares, the earning per share kind of increases. So earning per share basically increases. So it's a really great that earning per share increases. So whenever earning per share increases, it's a positive sign, and the stock price should go up. But in this case, stock price was going down. Another thing which was also great for the company is that the company's finances were really great. The company's equity has increased. The company equity at that time was 5.5 billion. At the same time, the 900 million cash was also present with them. So obviously their finances were also really great. Now for all these things were only great thing happening, then why was company's cost going down? Then there's another factor which was kind of been discussed into this, is the product. Okay, so now in FMCG we all know the product is something which is really important in healthcare, FMCG. These are B2C businesses, and in this case what customers really want. If not getting customers are not satisfied, or the things quality has gone down, in that case basically the B2C business kind of struggles. But in the case of Johnson & Johnson, it was not the case at all. In this book, Peter Lynch mentioned that the company was kind of really innovative. Company was working for the future. They were bringing new product. In that particular year, 34% of their sales took place from the new products only. At the same time, company was investing 8% of their sales money, and whatever the money they were generating from their particular business, the 8% of that particular business they were putting into R&D. Almost $1 billion was put into research and development. So obviously they were investing a lot for the future development of the product, for the future products as well. So all these things was not an issue at all. They were even working on the innovations. They are having a good financials. Their managing team was great. The buyback was also taking place. They were giving the dividends. Everything was great into this particular company. So this was kind of a good indicator that the company is one of the best company, and you're getting at the cheap cost, because at that time the Johnson & Johnson PE was only 11 and 12, and the industry P at that time was 16. So it was a great indicator that you should definitely go for this particular company. But why the company's cost was going down? Why the company share price was going down? Reason behind the share price of the company was going down was mainly due to the Bill Clinton. So in that particular time, Bill Clinton came, and he kind of came up with some of the health reforms and rules and reforms and different changes he was kind of saying. And there was a lot of time whenever he was going for a mic, basically whenever he was saying into something in a public meeting or basically conferences, he was always saying about that health bill and everything like that. Obviously that health bill was not passed, but people got a bit skeptical. People thought that healthcare might go down because of all these things, and because of which many people started getting panic and got skeptical, and because of all these things people started selling their shares, and as a result of which the company stock price was going down. And it was not just Johnson & Johnson, many of the companies in the healthcare sector, their price was going down. As a result of this particular thing, company stock gone down. So it was a clear example that there was no internal issues, there was complete external issues. And it's really important, you should understand that there was an internal issue or external issue. But now you might might be like यार external issue तो था ना, but if there was an external issue, so external issue can also hamper the growth of the company. It's totally true, but in case of Johnson & Johnson it is not true at all. But this was not the case in Johnson & Johnson, because 50% of their profits was coming from the international market. So in case the bill would have been passed of that health reforms and everything, still that they with 50% of the business or the 50% of the profit couldn't have been affected. At the same time, that 20% of their profit was coming from the non-pharmaceuticals product. So because of which their profit 20%, basically 70 to 80% of their profit wouldn't have hampered at all, even if that particular reforms would have been passed. So Johnson & Johnson was not kind of an ordinary healthcare company. Their kind of revenue split was quite well organized, and it was really well, and because of which they wouldn't have been hampered even if that particular reforms would have been passed. And all these things were showing that even the external factors are not affecting the company that much. Internal factors are quite smooth. Internally the company is one of the best company at that particular time, even now as well. So all these things kind of gave the indication to the Peter Lynch that this is one of the best company. Peter Lynch says in the book that it just take 20 to 30 minutes to analyze all these things, but people end up not analyzing the company and just putting the money into the company. And this is all what happens in the company. You need to see the external factor, you need to see the internal factor, you need to see that if the company stock is going down, what is the main reason. Peter Lynch at that time analyzed all these things, and after analyzing all these things, Peter Lynch kind of told his investors to invest in the company. Basically, he officially told in one of the newspaper as well that they should invest in the company. When he told into the newspaper at that time, and the stock price has gone from $44 to $37 till Peter Lynch was quite optimistic, while confirmed that this particular stock will go. At the time the stock price went down by $7. He officially told in the newspaper that they should go for this particular company, Johnson & Johnson, and in 1995 the stock price of the company was $80, almost twice returns that particular company gave, almost 100% return Johnson & Johnson gave. So this is a kind of a great example of a smart investor. It's not that difficult. You do not need to be a PhD for analyzing the company. You just need to understand the market and understand that what are the factors which going to affect the company, and is it really affecting the company. First, the main thing is the internals, the financials of the company, the management of the company. Reading about this, and it do not take much of a time, and it's really important. Whenever you purchase a mobile, whenever you purchase any kind of electronic item, when you purchase any kind of other kind of stuff, we always see the specification. Like for example, this particular laptop which I purchased, I see a lot of specification, I seen everything, and then I purchased that particular mobile at that particular laptop. In the same way, many of you might have been also doing that particular thing, seeing lots of videos and seeing lots of things. There are lots of channels available for the stock markets where people do analysis. There are lots of websites where the analysis is done. So it's really important to first analyze the company and then invest into it. See that what are the external and internal factors that are going to affect the company, and you need to see that particular things and then invest in the company. So understand the business of the company and then invest into it. That's really important, and it was a really great case study where both the internal and external factor has been discussed really well. This was all from this video. If you really like the video, like it, subscribe to my channel and share with your friends. Thank you for watching my video. Bye bye.